Welcome back, students. Today we will start with chapter 3 of history for grade 10th. Here we will talk about nationalism in India. In last chapter we have focused about how the nationalist movement started in Europe. That is, wave of nationalism started from France in 1789. This chapter is basically about the story of freedom struggle of India. On page 53 of your NCERT book, this idea is only given. That is, there was only one thing common among all the people of India, that they are being oppressed by the single oppressor, that is, Britishers. People began discovering their unity in the process of their struggle with colonialism. The sense of being oppressed under colonialism provided a shared bond that tied many different groups together. Just relate this chapter with earlier chapter, that is the rise of nationalism in Europe. In that chapter we have seen the concept of nation state. Similarly, today we see India as a one political unit. But before independence, under kingdoms, people don't have collective identity. But when ideas of liberty, equality circulated, then the concept of nation state came into being. This idea of nation state created a sense of common identity and belongingness, and this collective identity is developed through new symbols, icons and new songs. Now in this chapter we will see how did this consciousness emerge in India. Now coming on to India, there was always a question of who are we? What is our sense of belongingness? What is our identity? To answer all these questions, the idea of nationalism was promoted by the major leaders across India. Now let's define nationalism. So as you know, nationalism is a feeling of oneness among the people living in a territory, or you can say the love for one's country. Page 54 of your book. Now your real chapter starts from page 54, para 2, line 1. Here the CBSE can ask you a very important question, that is, state various implications of First World War on India's freedom struggle. Or it can also be asked like how the post First World War scenario in India was responsible in instigating the anti-British feeling among Indians. So the war, that is the First World War, year 1914, had created a new economical and political situation all around the world. Students, this you all know what happens in the war. Economies got shattered, production got affected, trade also got adversely hit due to long wars. So First World War fought between Central Powers and allies. You know, allies like France, England, Russia and America, and Central Powers were Germany, Turkey, Austria and Hungary. And you know that India was colony of Britain at that time, that is in 1914. And Britain was under huge war expenditure, which it had financed from war loans. Like we take loans for car, home, similarly there is a war loan also. So as loan was increasing on Britain, the Britain started looking towards India for its interest payments. So as a result, custom duty was raised and income tax was also introduced. Now here NTSC can ask you question, when was income tax first introduced in India? So answer is during First World War. Next is the forced recruitment of Indian villagers into the British Army. This also caused the widespread anger among the Indians. Now to fight war, Britain needs soldiers also. So British started forcefully recruiting Indian villagers in army to fight First World War. So this caused the widespread anger among the Indians. At the same time now, crops also failed in many parts of India. So poor Indians were getting beatings from all the sides. This was also not sufficient. At the same time, influenza epidemic broke out. So all these factors put together were responsible to instigate the anti-British feeling among the Indians. Now Gandhiji came to scene in 1915 and he introduced the new idea of Satyagraha. Page 55 of your book. Now what do you mean by Satyagraha? This is also a very important topic. The idea of Satyagraha emphasized the power of truth and the need to search for truth. That is, the sole motive of your birth is to find truth. Gandhiji now strongly believed if the cause is true, if the struggle is against injustice, then physical force is not necessary to fight the oppressor. And a satyagrahi could win the battle through non-violence. Now here question arises, then what we have to do? If we have not to do any violence, then what we have to do? So further Gandhiji added that in satyagraha, the conscience of the oppressed person appeals to the conscience of the oppressor to see the truth rather than forcing him to accept the truth. According to Gandhiji, apparently nothing seems to be happening. That is, oppressed people are sitting quietly on protest, but the conscience of both oppressor and the oppressed people are interacting. According to Gandhiji, this was the ideology of Satyagraha. So Satyagraha is a method of mass agitation. Now let's see where Gandhiji launched this Satyagraha movement, that is the places where it was introduced. First three Satyagraha movements organized by Gandhiji in India. First was Champaran Satyagraha, year was 1916. It was a movement of workers in the indigo plantation of the Champaran district of Bihar. It was against the oppressive plantation system, indigo plantation system. So keep in mind students, year of Champaran Satyagraha, that is 1916. And Champaran is located in Bihar. In map work it can be asked. Second experiment was Kheda Satyagraha and the year was 1917. Crop failure and the plague epidemic made the life of the farmers miserable in the Kheda district of Gujarat. So they started a movement under Gandhiji leadership with the demand for a reduction in land revenue. This was Kheda Satyagraha. Then the third one is Mill Workers Satyagraha and the year is 1918. Now low wages, poor working conditions forced the mill workers of Ahmedabad to start a movement under Gandhiji's leadership in 1918. Now the question can be asked, where Gandhiji first experimented the idea of Satyagraha? So answer is Champaran, 1916. And three experiments can also be asked. So the answer will be Champaran, 1916, Kheda, 1917 and Ahmedabad, 1918. Continuing from page 55, here now we have to discuss about Rowlatt Act. So what was Rowlatt Act? This act gave British government the power to imprison any person without any trial for a period of 2 years. So it gave British government the power to repress all political activities which were going on in India at that time. So the aim of this act was to destroy the national movement by imprisoning the national workers. It was a black law because it was against the basic human rights. Rowlatt Act was hurriedly passed by the British government in response to Gandhiji idea of Satyagraha. Now Gandhiji introduced the idea of Satyagraha and the people started following his ideology. So the political activity, the momentum of the political activity got increased in India, and this frightened the Britishers, and in response to this political activity the Britishers introduced the Rowlatt Act. So now Gandhiji organized a non-violent satyagraha against this Rowlatt Act also. A hartal was organized on 6th April 1919. Rallies were conducted, shops were closed down, workers conducted strike, transport and communication systems came to a standstill. These protests led to now Jallianwala Bagh massacre. Now page 56 of your book, Jallianwala Bagh massacre. This is also very important topic and note can also be asked on Jallianwala Bagh incident as well. On 13th April, the infamous Jallianwala Bagh incident took place. People were gathered in the enclosed ground of Jallianwala Bagh to celebrate Baisakhi. Some were there to protest against the martial law also. Martial law was imposed by the Britishers. Now being villagers, they were unaware of the martial law that has been imposed. At that time, these many means of communication were not there, so people were not aware of the happenings going on, so they were unaware of the martial law imposed. Now General Dyer entered into the park, blocked the exit and ordered his troops to open fire. Hundreds of people were killed and thousands were injured. Later Dyer remarked that It was all to produce terror among the Indians. Now page 56, third para deals with Khilafat movement. Now let's see the Khilafat movement. Now Turkey was under Ottoman Empire, that is a Muslim empire, and the ruler of Turkey was called Khalifa or Caliph. He was the Muslim spiritual leader of all the Muslims around the world. Now as you are aware, the Britain defeated Turkey in World War I. And then Britain dethroned the existing Khalifa and appointed a new puppet Khalifa in his place. So it caused the widespread anger among the Muslims all around the world as their sentiments were hurt. In India also, Muslims started protesting against the British. They formed the Khilafat Committee under the leadership of Shaukat Ali and Muhammad Ali. Please underline this. This is very important. These two brothers, they formed the Khilafat Committee. Gandhiji now saw this as a golden opportunity to bring all the Muslims under the unified umbrella of struggle against the British. Gandhiji convinced all the Congress leaders to support Khilafat movement in support of Swaraj. Now your last para, here it is written that in his famous book Hind Swaraj 1909, Mahatma Gandhi declared that British rule was established in India with the cooperation of Indians and has survived only because of this cooperation. Now here question can be asked, who was the writer of book Hind Swaraj? So answer to this is Mahatma Gandhi. Another important question can be asked, what was the theme of this book Hind Swaraj? So answer to this is, in the book Gandhiji declared that the British rule was established in India with the cooperation of Indians and had survived only because of this cooperation. So your next topic is why non-cooperation, or why Gandhiji decided to launch non-cooperation movement. Gandhiji believed that British rule in India was because of the Indians supporting the British rule. The day Indians stopped supporting British, the British rule will collapse and Swaraj will come. Page 57 of your book. Prior to this, now we were discussing why non-cooperation. Till now we have discussed that Gandhiji decided to launch the non-cooperation movement because the various reasons we have studied till now. The First World War added to the misery of the Indian people, that is heavy taxes, high prices, famines, epidemics made people's life miserable. Then Rowlatt Act also invited large-scale protests throughout the country. Then the Jallianwala Bagh massacre, the injustice done to the Punjab made Indians angry. Then Muslims become unhappy due to the ill treatment of Caliph and they started the Khilafat movement. So because of all these reasons, and now at the Calcutta session of Congress in 1920, this is very important, Calcutta session of Congress in 1920, Gandhiji convinced other leaders of the need to start a non-cooperation movement in support of a Khilafat as well for Swaraj. Now Gandhiji proposed that non-cooperation movement should unfold in stages, that is how the movement should begin. So answer to this is, it should begin with the surrender of titles that the government awarded, that is the Britishers awarded. That is whatever honorary titles were given to the Indians by the Britishers, we will return them back to the Britishers as a mark of our protest to the Britishers. Then the boycott of civil services, army, police, courts, legislative council, schools and foreign goods. So non-cooperation movement was the call to the Indians to stop supporting the British. Now page 57, para 4, line 1. This is very, very important. This is among your top 10 questions of history, that is, how did different social groups conceive the idea of Gandhiji's non-cooperation movement? How the movement spread out, who participated in it? So answer to all these questions we will see in part 2 of your video. Till then, stay safe.